Hi guys, it's Maureen here, Maureen Sharphouse, and welcome again to Live at 5 with Maureen. I can't believe this week has come around so quickly. It doesn't actually seem that long since I did last week, so cheers. I'm going to hang about just a couple of minutes and let some people join us. And really, if you are here, could you please let me know that you can see me, you can hear me. Yeah, just let me know that the technical side of things is okay. So a thumbs up, anything just to let me know that things are working okay. And I don't know about you, but we have had the most amazing, and thumbs up, thank you, that's brilliant, thank you. We have had the most amazing sunshine day here in Scotland today. Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. We had 3 days, I think this is day 3 now, of just gorgeous, gorgeous sunshine. And we actually had our first barbecue of the year at the weekend. So we've had some amazing weather in Scotland. So wherever you are, I hope you are too enjoying some sunshine. I say today, live at 5, got a couple of different topics I'm going to talk about. But before we do that, just if you are watching live, then thank you for joining me. That's amazing. If you're watching the replay, please feel free also to put any comments in the boxes below, the comments below. Any questions, any queries, I promise I will get through them all and I will answer everyone personally. If you're watching live, please know I'm not going to jump back and forwards constantly to look at any comments that are left, but I will do in between topics. I just think, it kind of I lose my train of thought if I just keep jumping back and forwards. So I think in between topics, I will have a look and see if there are any comments, any queries, any questions. Please let me know you're here. Please say hi. It's always nice when you're doing live to know that actually somebody is here. And it's really nice just to be able to interact and to get to know you and to answer questions that you may have. For any of you who don't know me, and this is maybe your first week on Live at 5, my name is Maureen Sharphouse. I live in Scotland. I am a life coach and a mentor, and also an NLP master practitioner and trained in hypnosis. I think it's my 9th year in business now as a coach and trained in all aspects of coaching between relationships and business, transformative life coach, success, mindset coach, etc. And really choose as my niche life. Being the real you, the authentic you in real life, real world, with all the challenges that presents, but living your best life as you in the real world, real life. Now, tonight's topic, there's one topic actually I was asked to discuss tonight by 2 or 3 of you contacted me, and I'd actually done it 2 weeks ago, I think on the 30th of April. So for anybody who's asked me tonight to speak about the negative voice in the head, that self-critic, that negative voice in the head, then what I would love to do is just point you in the direction of Live at 5 2 weeks ago. You'll find it on my Facebook page here. I think it was the 30th of April. Or go to YouTube because all my videos, all my affirmations, all my Live at 5s, a host of other videos as well that I've done over the years are all on YouTube. So if you head to YouTube and just put my name in, you should be able to find me. And I think if you look for Live at 5, 30th of April, you'll find the one which talks about the negative voice in your head and gives you some tips and my thoughts. So tonight's topic is really being brought to me by one of my clients who said, what can I do? I have a really overactive imagination and it keeps stressing me out because I keep imagining the worst scenarios. I keep filling myself with doubt, with fear, with dread. What can I do? Because I've got an overactive imagination. And I'm seeing a few hearts and things thrown up, and I've seen Nuruddin, welcome. I'm so thrilled to have you join me here tonight, which is amazing. And it's our imagination. What I really want to say to you is the problem isn't with our imagination. That's not where the issue is. If we've got this, as my client said, an overactive imagination that kept getting her into trouble, filling her with dread, filling her with doubts. The problem's not with the imagination. Your imagination is one of your biggest gifts that you have been born with. The problem is where you are directing the imagination, what you're focusing your imagination on seeing. Because let's face it, if you focus on what you don't want in life and see that, then that is going to fill you with the dread and the fear. But you can actually, when you know how to get your imagination to work for you and focus on what you want in life, then it's one of your biggest gifts to help you bring your dreams, your goals, and everything into reality. You know, and it's one of those wonderful things, because if you think about it, everything that exists in reality has started off as in someone's imagination and mind. I mean, if you think about it, the chair you're sitting on, the chair I'm sitting on, somebody imagined this before it appeared in reality. Somebody imagined the chair and designed the chair and chose the fabric and chose the colors and, you know, went on to make it. You know, the bookcase behind me, it imagines somebody, it was in somebody's mind first. The car you buy, your garden, what you plant in it, the conservatory on the back of your house, all these things have started off as something from your imagination or someone else's imagination, as a thought, as a picture, as an idea. And from there, it has come into reality. So if you are using your imagination to focus on what you don't want in life, which is really where fears and phobias come from, you know, that sort of focusing on the pictures of the worst scenarios, then you need to acknowledge that, wow, that's amazing. I have a really good imagination. So that's your plus side. And then you just have to retrain it to be looking for what you want in life that feeds you positive images, positive messages, and fills you more with hope and desire and hunger and action for what you want, than fills you with fear or dread or stress or anxiety for what you don't. Now, to me, visualization is not a new thing. You know, our imaginations is one of the biggest things, the biggest gifts we're born with. And if you think about it, you know, we could learn a lot from our ancestors, because if you think about the cavemen, and if you've ever looked at, you know, you see pictures of the caves when they discover, and they have all these paintings around all the walls of the cave that the cavemen did all these thousands of years ago. If you look at the pictures, they're pictures of them fighting and killing animals. They're not pictures of them being eaten by them. You know, the cavemen intuitively knew that if they wanted to build their courage and build their belief and be able to cope and survive, then they had to believe that they could fight the animals and kill the animals to survive, that they would come out on top. So all their pictures that they used to draw, their imagination, using their creative imagination, they imagined what they wanted, the scenarios of what they wanted. And that is what they painted on the caves. They didn't paint on the caves pictures of the animals devouring them. And if they had, can you imagine what that would have done to their own feelings of courage or belief in themselves? You know, we can learn an awful lot from our ancestors, I think. And I think, you know, the imagination, it's one of the biggest gifts we're born with. And, you know, if you look at the youngsters, you know, I mean, my husband Peter and I, we've got 10 grandkids between us. We've got quite a big family. And if you look at the little ones, you know, they play at being explorers. They play at being doctors and nurses, and they dream in their minds of being, you know, top footballers or rock guitarists. And, you know, their imagination is an incredible thing that they're born with. But, you know, unfortunately, to me, as we go through school and we grow, we get told to kind of grow up and be in the real world. And we get taught how to think rationally with our heads. You know, we get the problem solving, the rational thinking drummed into us. And about, you know, really sort of having to grow up and be in the real world. So, you know, your play friend, that imaginary play friend doesn't exist anymore. You're too big for that now. Now, to me, you know, as we grow through life, you know, we're curbing that biggest gift. One of the biggest gifts we're born with is our imagination. And unfortunately, in society, you know, with this constant rational thinking and this overthinking and problem solving, and it's a challenging world, you know, very often what happens is we do find ourselves making the scenarios of what we don't want to happen. And we do end up, you know, the negative side of a good imagination is you can use it to stress yourself, and you can use it, you know, against yourself to bring stress and worry and anxiety. If you learn to use it for yourself and direct your imagination at what you want out of life and what you want to be happening, then you will fire hope, you will fire belief, you'll fire hunger, you'll fire desire. You'll also fire yourself to take action to bring it to reality. But also you're setting the blueprint for success in your mind. You know, it's a real, it's a fact in life that our minds don't know if we are genuinely somewhere in reality or whether we're there in our imagination only. And so, you know, when we actually understand that we can really use our imagination to really, really good use. Now, I'm just going to pause for a minute and just see, we've got Sue, well done, great to see you here, Sue, as well, and to see Nuruddin, that's brilliant as well. And yeah, it's good to have some company here today. So we're talking about using our imaginations. We can use them either to picture the bad stuff, picture what we don't want, and that stress and that negative anxiety, or we can actually acknowledge that the problem's not with our imagination at all. It's really brilliant that we've got a good imagination, an active imagination, but we need to train it to look for what we want and use it to our advantage instead. You know, and it's a bit like, you know, I sat out in the garden Saturday and it was a beautiful day, and I was sitting having a coffee out in the garden with my husband, and I looked across at the back of the house, and suddenly my imagination kicked in, and I envisaged and imagined a conservatory on the back of the house. And, you know, and I sat there and I went, goodness, it would be an amazing place to put a conservatory just on the back of our lounge. Absolutely perfect. And I went on to describe it, you know, because my imagination then got caught up in this picture of me sitting in my conservatory overlooking, and from there the views, if we put it in the right place, the views are of Loch Leven and the hills, and trees were beside a wood, so it would give it incredible views. And I said to my husband, just imagine sitting there in the winter, all cozy inside, but surrounded by trees and garden, and seeing the snow-capped mountains and the loch. Now, that was my imagination being very active. But what it's done, you know, is that's how things come into reality. They start from here. That picture of me imagining a conservatory, imagining sitting inside there and seeing the snow-capped mountains in the winter and really enjoying the summer nights. And, you know, that picture has fired in myself and my husband this real, God, that would be lovely, this real feeling of that would be great. And I have no doubt that that will come into reality in time, because we will move from the thought, the imagination, the creative bit, to the planning, to the thinking more serious about it, and the doing. So really, when it comes to imagination, look on it as a gift. And if you're using it to scare yourself, to doubt yourself, to pull negative stuff in, then be aware of what you're doing, because that is just a learned behavior pattern that you have kind of instigated and fallen into. And it's easy done, especially in sort of the busy world that we live in and the challenging world that we live in. It is easy done. But I think, you know, the more you do it, the more it keeps you playing the same cycle. So you have to interrupt it. You have to see what you're doing, and you have to interrupt it and go, well, actually, me using my imagination to envisage what I don't want is actually not really helpful. What I need to do is interrupt that strategy. And I've seen a lot of little hearts and things throw up just now, so I know this is resonating with you. What you have to do is interrupt it and start focusing on what you do want instead. And I say it's not a new phenomenon. You know, if you think about it, for centuries people have prayed, and it's, Lord, keep me safe. That's them visualizing and using their imagination of seeing them safe and being kept safe. The cavemen with their pictures on the cave walls is of them, you know, being courageous and brave, and actually were the ones that are killing the animals and winning. It's not of them being eaten. Now, the thing is, you know, those cavemen, to me, they used another of one of their biggest gifts in life, and that's their intuition. And to me, if we can marry together our imagination and our intuition, then we are on a real winner. And that intuition, to me, that's the voice of our soul. It's that place between feeling and knowing. It's the bit that you know without having to think or analyze. And I think, you know, in life, we're taught so much to think. As I said, you know, at school, the children have their imagination almost curbed. You know, you're too old to have a play friend. You're too old. That's, you know, that's just daydreaming. You need to knuckle down and learn, you know, really, really study and learn how to do things and get into the real world. And we go into this thinking and analyzing and problem solving and rational thinking. And the more we do that and think with our head, the less our intuition is getting exercised and getting used. Now, to me, we are born with that intuitiveness inside us, that sixth sense, you know, that feeling and that knowing that something's right for us or wrong for us. And as we get older in life, I think more and more what happens is, you know, we live such busy lives that we don't slow down often enough or create the space to allow ourselves for our intuition to kick in. And even when it does, we tend to talk ourselves out of it because we go back to our head and we think and we overthink and we analyze. And then even though our heart may be telling us something else, we talk ourselves into the rational, practical doing. I should do this. I ought to do this. It's more sensible to this. My ego says to do this. It's more society acceptable to do this. And then what we get later on in life is what I call hindsight intuition. We look back on our lives and we go, do you know, I always knew that. I had a feeling at that time that I really wanted to do something else. Something else was right for me. But I listened to my head. I talked myself into it. I studied XYZ because my parents wanted me to do it. But deep down I knew I wanted something else. Now, that to me is what happens a lot. And I see it a lot in clients that I work with is this hindsight intuition when they go, well, if I look back on my life, I kind of knew it was the wrong thing. Now, what I want to encourage you to do today is actually take it on board right here, right now. And actually really trust your gut, trust your heart. And if you can use that with regard to what's right for you or what's not right for you, and really trust that, and then use your imagination to see it coming about, you marry those two together, that intuition and imagination, and you have this real winning combination. Because you're following what your soul's calling you to do if you listen to intuition. And to me, it's like, you know, if you have a question in life, if you have something you're querying, if you have a choice over X or Y or Z and don't know where to go, what to do, ask it to your head by all means, because your head will give you that rational, practical answer. You know, it will tell you about, oh, yes, that's possible, and that's the hours I want, or that would bring me enough money, or, you know, all those practical things. But also you need to drop down into the stillness of your body. And you need to ask the same question to your heart. And you need to sit and you need to listen for that answer. What does my heart or my spirit tell me about this? How does that feel for me? And again, if you're not sure how something feels for you, visualize, use your imagination to envisage it, see it happening. You know, I've gone into schools in the past and done workshops with kids. And I did quite a few around career for a little while. And what I used to do is I'd go into schools and be talking to the kids. And it was really to try and help them work out what they maybe wanted to do in life. And to be honest, it's my belief that, you know, when they're just at secondary school and primary school, it's far too young to know what they want to do in life. You know, they're capable of doing so many things. But a wonderful way to do it is I used to say, well, imagine being what you think you might want to be. And, you know, I'd have somebody say, well, I might want to be a policeman. So I'll say, right, imagine yourself being that policeman now. See yourself in front of yourself in the police uniform. See the policeman in front of you. Imagine the day that you would have as what you'd be doing. Step into that body and imagine being that policeman now. So that's the imagination. Now, drop down. How does that feel to be that policeman now? And that's the intuition kicking in. How does it feel? Does that feel right for me? Does that feel comfortable? Does it feel in alignment? And then it would be like, I might want to be a fireman. So we do the same. Picture being a fireman, seeing a fireman, step into the fireman's body in the fireman's outfit and imagine being that and having a day there. How does that feel? How does that feel? And it's like you can try things on for size. So if we kick in, the imagination to visualize and imagine things for ourselves, and we can step into those bodies and step into, into paths, do I want X or Y? Well, walk down the X path and imagine being there and see how it feels for you. Imagine walking down the Y path. Step into there. See how it feels for you. And ideally what you want is your head and your gut, your soul to be going in the same direction so that they're all in alignment and in alignment with you and moving forwards. So really, I really urge you to trust your intuition a lot more. And if you think you're not particularly intuitive, then my guess is it's because you haven't created the space to allow it. Because I think our soul calls us and speaks to us a lot. And our intuition is desperately trying to get our attention a lot because it knows what is right for us, what isn't right for us, what's the best, what's most comfortable, what's authentic. But because we live such busy lives and charge around all the time and are really encouraged to do the thinking, the problem solving, that, the rational thinking, we're not creating the space to hear. So I really urge you as you move forwards to slow down at times from the busy, busy pace of life. Create space, create stillness. Open your heart and your eyes and your heart wide and your soul wide to hear. And I have this real morning practice, as I call it. I never ever get out of bed in the morning until I have envisaged a really good day. I run it through in my bed before I even step out of bed. I see myself having a really good day. Run it through my mind what that good day would look like, feel like. And then I step out of bed into that good day. And then, following on from shower and breakfast and things, I do some bit of reading. I do what I call morning pages, which is 3 A4 sides of brain dumping, just writing down my thoughts. And then I go into sort of 5 minutes of sitting quiet. Call it meditation, call it relax, breathe, be time. It's what I tend to call it. But at the end of sitting quietly for a few minutes and creating stillness and space, I will ask myself, what do I most need to hear right now? And I will write down what I hear. Now that to me is inviting my intuition to kick in, inviting my soul, inviting what's in my heart to answer and let me hear. And I like to, it's about going in receiving mode. We can very often, we get so driven in life, and it's that masculine energy of drive, make it happen, do, decide, keep doing. And we all need that at times to make things happen. But we also need to step back at times and go into that feminine energy of receiving mode. We want that mixture of focus and flow. We want that mixture of making things happen and allowing to happen. And that allowing to happen and sit back in space is when our intuition, that sense of feeling or knowing what's right for us or not right for us, gets that opportunity to kick in. Now, I'm just going to take a quick look over at the comments just now. I'd really be keen to know from your own point of view, any thoughts around your intuition or your imagination and how they've worked for you or against you. Because, to us, our intuition, we kind of resist it, I think. We're the ones who are very guilty of not listening to it. We have a heartfelt feeling or a calling to do something, and then our head kicks in and we go for the practical or the ego-driven thing instead, or that's more society acceptable, or the thing that we feel, you know, will please our family or friends or loved ones more, rather than follow what's in our heart. So I think, you know, we resist the intuition, and yet it's one of the biggest gifts we're born with and given. And from our imagination, you know, that's one of our other biggest gifts we're born with. And if we know how to make it work for us, then we can achieve just about anything we want. Because, you know, we can see it in our mind and we can run it through, and then that's setting the blueprint for success. Our subconscious goes out this way to start trying to look to see how it makes it happen. And our hunger and our desire, they build, and we go to action and we make happen. But often in life, you know, we teach ourselves to use our imagination for what we don't want instead. You know, we imagine the bad things happening, the what ifs, the what ifs. And, you know, before we know it, we're the ones that are filling ourselves with fear and doubt and things. So to me, it's about imagination and intuition, but knowing how to work for you, allowing them both to play their part, to exercise them both, and to marry them hand in hand together to get what you want in life. Now, I'm going to just put my glasses on and see who's around. And Nuruddin, yes, you're here. And Susan, you don't think you trust yourself enough. And yeah, you know, that is a common thing, Susan. You're not alone. You know, so many people, and I was guilty of it as well. You know, I've been there too when I didn't trust myself. And I think that's the bit, you know, is really, I want you to just connect more with your body. Ask the questions to your head. What is my head telling me about this? But then drop down into the stillness of your body and say, what's my heart telling me about this? And really encourage yourself to listen more and more to your heart and your soul and your intuition, because that's the bit that really knows you. That's the bit that really knows you. You know, there's a wonderful quote. I've actually got it on my desk somewhere. Yeah, and it's an Einstein quote. And it's, the intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. And I think, you know, so that intuitive mind is the gift, but we need to learn to trust it. We need to learn to trust our heart and our soul and that gut feeling more and more. And, you know, to me, if we all thought less and felt more, then we'd all really be more in alignment with the people we were born to be. You know, so I think, you know, that think less, feel more, because we can overthink, we can overanalyze, and that's when the negative voice creeps in. That's when we query and question ourselves. You know, when we overthink and overanalyze, you know, I can be as guilty of that. You know, when I'm writing, you know, I've got a little bit of a perfectionist thing going on, and so to me, I have to be really careful that I don't overthink and overanalyze, so that I'm almost like keeping editing what I'm writing, trying to improve it, thinking I'm overthinking, overanalyzing. And I have to back right off and trust my gut to actually remind myself I need to just go with the flow. So I think, you know, just trust your intuition, trust your gut a lot more, trust yourself, trust your own voice more. And remember, if there's negative voices coming in or your imagination's making negative pictures, this is a learned behavior pattern. It's not who you are. It's a pattern that's just been learned, and therefore we need to interrupt it, and we need to retrain our brain to think in a different way that serves us much better instead. Nuruddin, I can't imagine how wide and deep is your imagination. Yeah, well, do you know, but I have had many years of exercising my imagination, and it's the same as anything. It's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger and more powerful it gets. So I think, you know, when it comes to your imagination, when it comes to your intuition, when it comes to your confidence, when it comes to any of these things, it's a bit like a muscle. You exercise it, you use it more and more, and it becomes stronger. And, you know, for me, I am very intuitive and I'm very aware of it. And very often, you know, with clients, I know what they're going to say before they've said it. I sense it, I feel it. And, you know, and again, you know, but I've used it and I've trusted it over the years. And it's, you know, it's something that I have learned to trust and created space to hear. And it's the same with the imagination and the visualization. You know, over the years, I have used visualization to a real high level to turn my life around. You know, go back 15 years, I was in life of carers and using a wheelchair and told to accept my life. And it was the power of visualization, imagining myself on my feet again with a smile on my face, happy and healthy and out with dogs and a gorgeous man in my arm. Those were the things, that was what I was visualizing. I used my imagination to creatively imagine what I wanted for myself in my life, rather than what I didn't. So yeah, visualization, your imagination, your intuition are things that the more you use them, the more you trust them, the stronger they will become. Zian, brilliant to see you here today. It's the truth, we don't trust ourselves enough. Yeah, and you're amazing. Well, yeah, nice of you to say. But Zian, you know, I mean, as I know that you fly, you're a glider and glider pilot. You will be so familiar. Your powers of visualization will be really powerful, because I'm sure that probably in your mind a lot of the time you will visualize yourself up there flying and up there going through routines, and it's like practicing it in your mind first. And if you get really involved in it, your brain doesn't know the difference. You can fly in your mind at any time. I certainly know my husband Peter, he visualizes himself doing a lot of aerobatic sequences in a glider all the time. And it's like, it's the brain practicing it and setting that blueprint for success. So you need to just learn to use your imagination to your advantage. Nuruddin, I trust your words. Well, thank you for that. Heather, oh, brilliant. I'm so thrilled you could join me, Heather. Your intuition has always been spot on. Brilliant. And trust it. And I think, you know, that is the big thing with intuition. You know, we're all born with it. And I think, you know, and you can see it in the little ones, you know, the little ones feel, they get the sense of what's maybe scary and uncomfortable and out of their comfort zone. They get the sense of comfort. They get, you know, they really sense it. And you can even see them, you know, with the animals, with the dogs and the cats. They have this real kind of rapport thing going on. And I think, you know, they have intuition and they have great imaginations, and it's society and upbringing and mental programming that we kind of drum it out of them a bit. And, you know, we end up going into this thinking, rational, problem solving, living in the challenging world zone. And actually, I think we all need to take a look at that and go, actually, let's just step back here. Let's create some space. Let's create some stillness. Let's really get to know who we are deep down in here. Because it really is my belief that, you know, I am not my physical body. You know, we're not. These are suits we wear on this earth. You know, I believe we're soul and we're spirit. And we're here in a physical body. This is our experience of this world on this earth. But we need to listen to our soul and spirit and what's calling us forward, because it's what knows what's right for us. And I think, Heather, spot on. I'm delighted that you are very intuitive and listen to it. And Susan, just need to trust it a bit more. Trust yourself. I say, ask those things to your head, you know, the questions. Is this right for me? What do I need to hear? You know, is this the choice or decision I want to make? But drop down into your heart and go, what does that feel like for me? What is my heart and soul telling me about this? And if your heart is telling you it's not for you, then you need to listen to that. You know, I see so many clients, I've seen so many over the years that have come to me at later stages in life, and I've spent, you know, so many years working at jobs, etc., doing a lifestyle, creating a lifestyle, and saying to me, well, actually, I kind of fell into it by default. I did it to please my parents, or I did it because it was expected of me. I always had this notion inside that I was meant to be doing something else. I wanted to be a farmer, or I wanted to do something. And they taught themselves out of it because they were trying to be more society acceptable. They were frightened of judgment of others if they made certain decisions. And really, you know, when we resist what our heart is calling us to do, we're keeping ourselves out of alignment with the true person we are. And, you know, to me, it's when we can actually step fully into our authentic selves, that person we're born to be, then, you know, we have that amazing peace inside, that amazing contentment inside, that amazing feeling that whatever happens in life, we can handle it. And, you know, it's about that real being you and being proud to be you and giving yourself permission to be you. But if you are not listening to your intuition, your soul, your heart, and you're resisting and fighting what deep inside you know, then you're really stopping yourself ever really stepping into that real truth of you. So to me, you know, our intuition is listening to our truth, listening to the truth within. And yeah, there's a really lovely affirmation that I was sitting thinking about, because I do affirmations, morning affirmations with Maureen, as you know, on my Facebook page every day. And I was sitting thinking about some affirmations to make some memes up earlier. And there was one about intuition, and I just want to share it with you. And it's: an intuitive lead is a lead I must choose to follow, for it is going to take me somewhere my soul wants to go. So an intuitive lead is a lead I must follow, for it's going to take me somewhere my soul wants to go. Anyone got any examples they want to share with us about their intuition, when they've either even resisted it and known deep inside that something's right or wrong for them, but talked themselves out of it, or whether they've been brave and listened to it? Is anybody wanting to share something with us? It would be really lovely. I mean, these live at fives, you know, I do these for you. I do them because I love to come from a place of service and I love to help. But you know, it's really good if I can help in a way, you know, and we kind of, you know, I want to know you. I want to know you better so that I can help more. And to me, it's about loving having you here on my page and building relationships. So please be brave, please share, and let us all get to know a little bit more about you. And wow, I have Jennifer Joanne, welcome you. This is a wonderful lady who lives over in the States who is now popped in. I don't know what time it must be for you. It must be quite late, is it, Jen? It must be quite late. Jen is a really wonderful lady who, I don't know if you'll all remember, when I was out in the States last year, I went out for some surgery last year. And Jen kindly offered to come and visit me. And unfortunately, it didn't really happen because I wasn't really, you know, that great at the time and well enough to do too much. But yeah, we've developed a relationship nevertheless. And hopefully she's going to come to Scotland. Hopefully next year. Oh, it's 9 a.m. for you. I was thinking it was nighttime. So yeah, Jen, brilliant. Emily, brilliant. Nice to see Emily here as well. Emily is actually one of my grandkids, believe it or not. Nice to see you here. Nuruddin, advices are priceless. Yes, Susan, you're saying if you feel your intuition has let you down in the past, is the part of the problem with trusting oneself. Yeah. And I think, you know, it really depends, because when you think your intuition has let you down in the past, it's whether your interpretation of that, if that makes sense, you know, and what you mean by let down. And if you feel it has been let down, then obviously then you don't want to trust it. But actually, probably if you looked at that scenario and you unpacked that scenario and reframed the scenario, then you would probably find that actually it hadn't let you down as such. It was maybe your perception or your understanding, or you're resisting in it without realizing. But I'd be really happy to chat that one through with you if you want, Susan. You know, if you want to chat that one through with me personally, and we can do that off page, you know, we can do that as a personal thing. So yeah. So really today has been imagination and intuition, as you know, and that intuition to me is a knowing inside. It's that knowing, that sense of knowing, that you don't even need to think, you don't need to analyze, you just know. And that sense of feeling and knowing, you have to learn to trust. And again, you need to really, over time, really get familiar with when it's genuine, when it is a genuine intuition coming from your soul, coming from, you know, a genuine intuition. And this might have been what happened with you, Susan, or whether it isn't, and it's something that you've started here, if that makes sense, and you've almost tried at a subconscious level to convince yourself that it's an intuitive feeling and a knowing. So, you know, there is that little bit of a difference. And I think really just as you move forward, you know, what to take from tonight's live at 5 is, I want you just to take on board that imagination and intuition are two of the biggest gifts you're born with. Take on board that we have them at birth and they serve us really, really well. The thing is to know how to use them to our advantage to help us get what we want. So to use your imagination in a way of imagining creatively what you want in life, so you manifest what you want rather than imagine or manifest what you don't. Because as my client has said, and which kind of triggered this topic tonight, you know, the overactive imagination, actually it's not the problem of the imagination, it's where you're putting the focus of it. So if you're focusing on something bad happening, focusing on an accident happening, focusing your imagination on creating a bad scenario, or, you know, the roof falling in, or a terrible flood, or, you know, that is not going to make you feel good. And again, you know, that is sort of setting it in your brain. You're almost expecting these to happen. And, you know, so you need to be careful, because very often in life, what you expect in life, you get. I don't know if that's come across, but, you know, certainly I see that happen a lot. What you expect, you get, because you're kind of feeding your subconscious that. So again, use your imagination for what you want to achieve in life, for the scenario you want. Use it to your advantage. Use it to try out things for size. You know, imagine going down the road X, you know, to this choice, or next Y, this choice. Go down, see what it feels like when you're there. Imagine being there right here, right now, seeing through your own eyes, hearing through your own ears, taste and touch and savoring as you're there. How does it feel for me? Is this serve me well? Does this feel good and comfortable? Or is this not feeling good? So again, use our imagination to work for us. Use your intuition to work for you, but to do so, you need to create the space to hear it. For it's in the space and stillness that we hear. And there is a voice that doesn't use words. You know, there's that wonderful quote from Rumi, you know, there's a voice that doesn't use words. Listen. That means listen to your soul speaking. Listen to your intuition. Listen to your gut, because actually it's what knows you best. And as you move forwards, when it comes to making choices and decisions in life, what I would suggest to you is, by all means, ask your head. That will give you the rational, the practical. You know, does this bring me the amount of money we need to survive? Does this give me X, Y, Z? Does it give me the flexibility I want? You know, use the head, but drop down into your heart and go, what does this feel like for me? What's my heart telling me about this? Does this feel right? And if it's not feeling comfortable for you, then I urge you to really listen to that, because that is what knows you best. It's that real knowing within is your intuition. And again, they're like muscles. The more you use them, the stronger they become. So really see them as gifts and start really using them and trusting yourself. And instead of convincing yourself that you are feeling something or trust, you know, intuitively, you need to create the space and stillness and just let it happen. And certainly by, you know, the meditating or sitting with relaxed breathe be time, as I call it, in the morning, and really creating space and stillness, and then just asking yourself, what do I most need to hear right now? You're creating that space for that intuitive hit to come in, that soul to speak. And yeah, so let's just have a quick look. Any more comments, and then we'll start summing up for tonight. And again, anybody who's asked me about the negative voice in their head, as I did at the beginning, I've pointed you to, we talked about that quite in depth. I talked about it on Live at 5, I think the 30th of April. So either look at my Facebook page for that one, or head over to YouTube, put my name on YouTube. You'll find all my affirmation videos on my Live at 5s, go there. Quite a lot of other videos that I've done over the years too. So head over there. The one that talks about the negative voice in your head, negative thinking, how to turn that around, is, I think, the 30th of April, Live at 5. So any problems, if you can't find it, email me, Maureen at MaureenSharphouse.com. Private message me here on Facebook, and I'll point you in the direction. And also any topics that you want me to cover here at Live at 5, please, please, please point them in my direction. I am trained in a wide variety of coaching, NLP, hypnosis, mindfulness, lots of things, and very happy on any topic in life to give my thoughts. And again, you know, I'm not here giving you medical advice, legal advice, any other advice. I'm not telling you you have to live your life in certain ways. I am just sharing my thoughts, my experience, my knowledge, and, you know, from my years of experience as a coach. And you take from it what works for you. And if anything that I have said has just been the catalyst for you thinking in a way that maybe you didn't think before, for maybe you exploring in your mind something that you hadn't before, then I'm a happy lady because I'm doing my good job. So I'm just going to pop over to the comments before we kind of sum up. And Maria, well done. Lovely to see you here. And I say you will have missed some of it, but you will catch it on the replay, Maria. That would be good. And Jen, yeah, thoughts are things. Absolutely. And again, that's what we said kind of at the beginning, that, everything starts in our mind first. The chair you're sitting on started in somebody's mind first before it became reality of a chair. The car you drive started in somebody's mind first, before it became the car you drive. Everything, begins in our mind and our imagination. It begins somewhere else. It exists in the mind first before it appears in reality. So yes, your thoughts do become things. And again, what you believe, when you believe you can do something, that is going to fire your hunger, your desire, your confidence, lead you to action to actually get those things actually happening in your life. So yeah, absolutely. And attitude is altitude. Yeah, lovely saying. It is a lovely saying. Your attitude is one of the key things. They say, it's only 5% what happens to you in life. It's 95% how you deal with it, how you handle it, how you respond. And again, if ideally, if you've got problems in your life, if you keep focusing on the problems, that's all you're going to see. So again, 5% spend your time on your problem, but 95% look for the solution, work towards the solution. So yeah, it's all about attitude and put the energy to the good stuff. Yeah, manifest what you want, not what you don't. And actually that's something that I think, I will talk about. I'd love to talk about another live at 5, is about manifesting and about The Secret, if anybody of you are familiar with The Secret. And to me, what I believe the secret to The Secret is, because I think there's a key element that they miss out and isn't clear. So that's something for another day. So anyway, yeah, so much love to you. Lovely to see you. Lovely to everybody that's come. And yeah. And Salim and Kaylin, well done. You've just noticed you're here too, so thank you for joining me. It's amazing. My Facebook page, believe it or not, this weekend hit the 60,000 followers. And so we now exceeded 60,000 followers on my Facebook page. And these are amazing people from all around the world, all different nationalities, all different religions, all different colors of skin, all different everything. And it's just one beautiful, beautiful place that I am just so thrilled that is growing in the way it is. And to me, this is a place of love and respect for all. And everyone is welcome here on my page. And I hope that, what I do share with you motivates, inspires in some way, or encourages you to think in a slightly different way about life. Okay, I'm going to go. I just want to thank you. If you've come on live, absolutely appreciate you. Thank you so much if you've come on live. It means the world to me when people come on live. If you are watching the replay, and I'm aware, not everybody can make the time I come on live, then please put your comments in. Really appreciate you watching. Stick your comments in. I promise I will acknowledge every single comment left. Any topics for next live at 5, please fire them my way. I am very open to any topics that you want regarding life, the challenges of life. Let me know, and I'll happily discuss them. And as normal, I will be back in the morning with morning affirmations with Maureen. And a great way to start the day is to have a real powerful, empowering affirmation. And so again, I'm just going to read that one affirmation out that I read earlier about intuition. So really take this one with you as you leave today. And it's: an intuitive lead is a lead I must choose to follow, for it is going to take me somewhere my soul wants to go. So on that note, listen to your intuition, use your imagination for what you want, not what you don't. And again, listen to that intuition, because that intuitive lead is going to take you to where your soul wants to go. Take care. Much love to all of you. And thank you so much for being here tonight. Look forward to next week's live at 5. And actually, I may even pop in live before then. There's something I would quite like to share with you a bit later in the week. So I'll probably pop in live then too. Take care. Thank you so much. Go be you, be happy, be awesome. And wherever you're watching from in the world, it's just amazing to have you here. And you are so, so welcome. And love having you here. Take care.